Petersham Nurseries head of horticulture Thomas BroomHughes offers 10 gardening tips for July. Other things you may find useful: small garden ideas, tips for planting a country garden, city gardens, gardeners' favorite roses, beautiful gardens to visit this spring, border plans by famous garden designers. There is a crispness in the air, and we begin to see autumnal color arriving in the garden. September is a great month to catch up on jobs in the garden that may have fallen by the wayside during the summer holidays. My 10 gardening jobs for September. 1. Pick the seed pods and heads of any open-pollinated flowers you want to grow again next year. Store the seeds in a cool, dry spot in brown paper bags for sowing next spring. 2. Buy spring flowering bulbs. Choose firm, plump bulbs and avoid any with signs of mold. Plant them as soon as possible so they can start putting down roots. The cool, moist conditions of late autumn suit tulips best, so wait until November before planting them. 3. Early autumn is the ideal time to plant evergreen trees and shrubs, so they get established while the soil is still warm. Water well after planting, and should the weather remain dry, water once a week. 4. Hardy annuals such as calendula, amimagus, larkspur, nigella, and honesty can now be sown directly into the garden soil. This gives your cutting border a head start in spring. Ensure that the earth is weed-free before sowing and rake to a fine tilth. Sow the seeds, and then gently rake them into the soil before watering well. You will be rewarded with an early show of flowers next spring. 5. There are quite a few varieties of autumn and winter vegetables you can plant now for produce during the colder months. Winter and spring cabbage, purple sprouting broccoli, little gem lettuce, chicory and Chinese cabbage are a few options. 6. Now is an ideal time to start a compost heap in your garden. Autumn's fallen leaves, your grass clippings, any tea bags, eggs, shells or coffee grinds will all ensure you have a wonderful organic rich compost for next spring's planting. Ensure that any good compost that remains in compost bins are used up on the garden during autumn. 7. Congested clumps of perennials such as agapanthus, euphorbias, and jumes can be safely divided in autumn. This will help encourage flowering next year and stop them from taking over your borders. 8. Pests and diseases will still be present in the greenhouse. Vigilance is still required. Treat any you find immediately. Remove and burn any tomato plants that have become susceptible to blight. Take down greenhouse shade netting or scrub off shading paint by the end of the month as light levels start to fall. 9. Net ponds and water features before the leaves start to fall. This will prevent debris from rotting in the water and blockages forming on the pumps of water features. Remove any rotting aquatic plant debris to keep the water clean of pond life during the winter months. 10. The cut flower garden is still going strong. Dahlias at their peak. Grasses will be looking resplendent in the autumn sun and branches will be laden with crab apples. Continue to pick dahlias, zinnias, and chrysanthemums regularly. Perennials such as asters, Japanese anemones make welcome additions to vases. Try making an autumnal door wreath from berries and seed heads, and old man's beard Clematis vitalva, a fun project for a warm autumnal afternoon.